You're welcome back. This is NewsFile, the most authoritative news analysis platform. And here is Anyenini Legal Light. I title it, Bail Must Not Be Used as Punishment. Bail must not be used as punishment. And I'm actually quoting directly from section 96 of the criminal procedure that we use in this country. That is the law. It says that bail should not be withheld merely with the intention to punish a person who has been arrested by the police and ought to be processed for bail. Why am I bringing this up? And it's not the first time I'm giving this education. The law is that any person suspected for any offense, until recently, there were certain offenses that were not to be granted bail. But now every offense is amenable to the grant of bail. Bail can be granted by the police. It's known as police inquiry bail. If the police do not grant it, then within 48 hours, they must produce the suspect before the court, and the court will consider the questioning of bail. This law applies to everybody. The police arrested, invited, and through the invitation, arrested and detained a journalist for insulting and threatening the president. Well, number one, insulting the president used to be a criminal offense, but we abolished it. You have heard me ask the question why I don't understand what is going on, because whilst we abolish insulting the president as a crime, we later passed a law which says even making gestures that suggest that you are insulting a chief is a criminal offense for which you can be punished. Well, maybe we honor our traditional leaders more than the president. So, insulting a president is not a crime. It's not an offense. Well, I don't know why anybody wants to insult the president or insult anybody for that matter. The fact that something is not a crime does not mean that it is beneficial to do. And politicians, particularly young people in this country, are beginning to sort of major in this area where they insult everybody. People insult the elderly, insult elder statespersons without any qualms, and the politicians encourage it. John Boadu held a press conference not long ago and really used words on John Mahama, very unspeakable words. So I asked myself, what does he expect the opponent to do? To speak well of the president? They may insult the president, especially when they know it's not an offense. Can we stop that? But to my main issue, threatening the president, threatening anybody for that matter, is a criminal offense. You cannot threaten to harm anybody, and you cannot threaten to kill anybody. So the threat to harm is an offense, and threat to kill is also an offense. Threat to harm gets you a maximum of 3 years, but threat to kill can get you up to 10 years in jail. Now, when the police invited and subsequently arrested the journalist, they kept the journalist until the 48th hour when they granted bail. Here's the point. The police practically had nothing extra to investigate about the matter. And the gentleman could and should have been granted bail. But somehow, they kept him until the 48th hour, as if to say, we'll teach you a lesson. Now, if the police continues in this direction, what they do, if they don't recognize, is that they do not allow many people to respect them, to be impartial in what they do. Let me explain to you. Not long ago, a member of parliament shot in broad daylight and admitted that she shot a gun. She was not arrested. In fact, during this election, a DCE and an MPP party chairperson have stormed the police station, removed someone who had been arrested and beat up a police officer. He was not arrested. Those people, they were invited by the police. 3 days on, they were never attending to the police. What has happened to them in the central region? The law requires equal application of the law to everybody because the law says all are equal before the law. The rich, the poor, the educated, the uneducated, all of them, the president and the farmer in my village must be treated as one before the law. If police conduct themselves this way, they do not expect the citizens to respect what they do. Bail must never be used as a punishment because the law says so. That's your legal light. Now let me introduce my guests for this morning's discussion.